so both Sienna and Wesley have type 1 spinal muscular atrophy. Sienna was diagnosed right around 4 months of age, and Wesley was diagnosed prenatally via amniocentesis. With Sienna, she was born on her actual due date, which is, I think that's a little rare as well. So she was born on June 30th, and super easy pregnancy and delivery. Perfect little baby. She already slept like 4 to 5 hours in a row, right when she was born. She was quiet, super easy going. And within the first couple months, we did notice that she was not meeting the same milestones that a friend of ours, their daughter was born 3 weeks prior to Sienna, and she was not meeting the same milestones as that baby. She had raspy breathing, and so we had brought her into the pediatrician a couple times for her breathing, and they just noted that they had seen kids worse, that it wasn't that bad, and she'll catch up and stuff. And around right before she turned 4 months, we ended up in the emergency department because she had stopped breathing on us a couple of times. They're gonna play with each other. And so one's teething and one has a stuffy nose, so that's a great combination. So we did end up in the emergency department, and that proceeded to come out with a 40-some day PICU stay and her SMA diagnosis and the start of her treatment. So when we had noticed her, delays, we had done a little bit of research, why she had low tone. And SMA was on the radar, but I'm like, wow, like some of the, big tips. Here, can you wipe your nose? Some of the big ticket items like hit, but I didn't really like see it. And so it was brought up to us by one of the residents. And so one of the residents had brought it up, and although we didn't want to believe it, we were kind of upset with the way he brought it up, and that it wasn't a good diagnosis. But then we had her neurologist come in and assess her, and with looking at her, she could presume that she had SMA, but we still had to do the testing. But she was extremely optimistic with treatment. She told us there was so much out there and so much that she could do. And so we started following some families on YouTube and a lot of Facebook community groups that we started to join, and a local nonprofit organization that focuses on neuromuscular conditions. They reached out to us and made sure that we had everything we needed and support and everything, since they knew what we were going through and had known other SMA families in the area, and got us connected with local families to start making sure she was getting the right treatment, and BiPAP, cough assist, feeding tube, and all of that set up. So it was a huge shock, bringing a 5-month-old baby home attached to 3 different machines: feeding pump, pulse ox, BiPAP. She was on BiPAP 24/7. Now she only uses it at bedtime. So it was a complete shock because we didn't expect to have any kind of diagnosis with having a baby. And then Wesley, although we did know the percentage, it was 25% chance that he would have SMA as well, and it still hurt just as bad finding out his diagnosis, even though we knew early treatment would be totally different, which they are crazy.